The time is 6:20 a.m. Good morning. The news headline: US, UK, France, Germany begged Buhari regime not to assassinate me. Obadiah Mailafia. The news in full. The US, UK, France, and Germany had to appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari not to assassinate former CBN Deputy Governor Obadiah Mailafia, a vocal critic of the regime, including its security agencies, People Gazette has learned. There was a call from the White House in fairness to all Americans. There was a call from London, Germany, and France to Abuja to warn them not to that no harm should come to me. Mr. Mailafia said it in an interview with popular journalist Ohimai Amaize. In footage of the interview shared shortly after his death on Sunday, The Economist revealed that his life had been under threat since the State Security Service (SSS) interrogated him on his air comments about deliberate violence across the country. Mr. Mailafia, who noted that he had gone into hiding, alleged that the Buhari regime had deliberate plans to keep him at the custody until the next day to have him killed. As I am talking to you, I am in hiding. Not even my wife knows where I live. The plan was that they would keep me there and interrogate me until past midnight. Then, what they would then do was to say that it was late to return me home and I should stay in prison next door, he said. They had already paid somebody who is on death row that in the middle of the night he would just get up and kill me, he explained. According to him, the attempt to assassinate him would have been successful if not for the quartet of the US, UK, France, and Germany's intervention. When they saw crowd, I think that was what made them backtrack, The Economist said. The Economist also explained that his son addressed the media and also reached out to the UK government and EU Parliament. So, the publicity over my case is such that they felt concerned and it became difficult. Nonetheless, Mr. Mailafia lauded some of the SSS operatives for being professional and civil, even though they acted on the instructions of their bosses to have them silenced. Speaking further, he recounted an alleged attempt to bomb his house a month before he granted the interview. Over a month ago, they tried to bomb my house, and some people called me and said I had a parcel from the United States and they needed to deliver it to my house and I should give them the address, he explained. The Economist said he hesitated to give out details of his residence after he got wind that there was something else behind it. He also claimed to have had a dream warning him of such occurrence. I dreamt that my whole house had crashed with everybody inside, including myself. It was like a warning dream, and when it came, I said, the Almighty must be telling me to be careful with this thing. So I decided to switch off my phone for 2 days. They've not called me till this very day, he added. Both the spokesperson for the SSS, Peter Afunaya, and Femi Adesina, a media aide to President Muhammadu Buhari, did not respond to People's Gazette's request seeking comments on the allegation. Mr. Mailafia died at the age of 64 at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital on Sunday. And the news analysis is as follows: that Mailafia, who happens to be at the time the CBN Deputy Governor and the vocal critic of the regime, had actually been reported dead on September 19, 2021 at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital at the age of 64. The UK, the US, the France, and Germany was said to have appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari's regime not to assassinate the former CBN Deputy Governor Obadiah Mailafia. It was reported that there was actually a call from the White House, and in fairness to Americans, that there was also a call from London, Germany, and France. And these quartet countries actually called Abuja to warn the President Muhammadu Buhari's regime over Mr. Mailafia life, that they should not harm him assassinate him. And this was actually disclosed by Mr. Obadiah Mailafia while a popular journalist, Ohimai Amaize, was interviewing him. And in the footage of this interview, they shared that was actually shared shortly after his death on Sunday. The Economist actually reviewed a whole lot of incidences surrounding these perpetrators of evil, the State Security Service and the likes, trying to interrogate him on the air, comments and about deliberate violence across the country, where the SSS, had called him earlier on that they needed to interrogate him. And Mr. Mailafia said that while he had to go into hiding was because he knew that if peradventure he had conceded to the interrogation by the State Security Service, then what they had in mind was to interrogate him until past midnight. Then they would tell him that he can't go home again because it was already late and they can't return him back home. So he just have to stay at the prison the next day. So this was actually a deliberate plan to keep him at the SSS custody until the next day so as to have him killed. Mr. Mailafia also noted that they had already paid somebody on a death row in the middle of the night, and the person would just get up and kill him while staying at that prison. They must have delayed him, and after delaying him, they had paid somebody in the prison where they are going to keep him. Then overnight the person would just kill him, and they would just report him dead. And that was what Mr. Mailafia actually told the journalist that actually interviewed him, Ohimai Amaize. According to Mr. Mailafia, he said the attempt to assassinate him would have been successful if not for the quartet of the United States, the intervention of the United Kingdom, the France, and also Germany. He said that when they saw the crowd, that I think that was what made them backtrack, because of the intervention of these 4 respective countries. Then they had to stop the attempt of killing him. The Economist also said that his son addressed the media and also reached out to the United Kingdom government and EU Parliament. So the publicity over his case is such that they felt concerned and it became very difficult. Nonetheless, Mr. Mailafia actually lauded some of the SSS operatives for being professional and civil, even though they acted on the instructions of their boss to have him silenced. So definitely there must have been some SSS members that actually hinted Mr. Mailafia, and they refused to kill him, or perhaps to arrest him unlawfully or do some other harms that their bosses have been asking them to do. And he also said that at the time he had a dream that his whole house was crashed with everybody inside, including himself. And he said that dream was actually a warning for him ahead of the evil that was coming, and saying that there was a time to be sent a parcel for him from the United States, and the person called that he needed to deliver it to his house, and he had to have he had the second thought about it, that that thing was actually not real, and that was how he did not disclose his residence to the person. Therefore, the spokesperson for the SSS, Mr. Afunaya, and Femi Adesina, a media aide to President Muhammadu Buhari, had actually not still respond to People's Gazette request seeking comments on the allegations. Thanks for listening. Good morning.